Chiefs Kingdom, we just witnessed something special tonight. We're going to talk about that with this Chiefs Cardinals recap. Let's get it.
Chiefs Kingdom, what's up, baby? Noah Gray here, tight end for your Kansas City Chiefs. You're listening to All Chiefed Up with Mike and Steve Williams.
Football is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Is back.
Let's freaking go. How about it, baby? Mike, wasn't it nice seeing the Chiefs on the football field tonight? I saw the GOAT out there for a couple passes. What about
Me too. Look, I thought they were going to open up the night going really deep to Xavier Worthy. I thought we were going to see something like that. And then the Cardinals come out and done the most Cardinals thing ever. Fumbled the opening kickoff. Mahomes got the shortest drive ever. Which, by the way, I'm not too sad about it. Let's get him out of the preseason uninjured. He doesn't need that many reps. And I thought his only pass of the night, that touchdown to Jason Brownlee, was beautiful. And I thought Brownlee executed it. And right off the rip, that's one of the first guys I'm going to say that I witnessed something special tonight out of Jason Brownlee. That kid can make plays. I said it on X today. I said he's one of the guys that's not got any kind of hype. And you need to watch him tonight. They're going to look to him. And they looked at him with the first team. First throw in the end zone, he high-pointed it, good strong hands, and they took another catch away from him later in the game that he actually caught, and they totally botched that one.
Right. Well, the game just ended. It's 20-17 Cardinals. It does not matter who wins a preseason game. No one should be upset.
Cares.
No one cares. It does not matter. Totally irrelevant. I think it's very strange when people take it too seriously. But we did get to see a lot of the guys that we wanted to see in game action, Mike. So that's what we're going to talk about. You guys, appreciate you all being here. Thanks for rolling in. Do your boys a favor. Hit the like button. Get more people in here. I want to hear y'all's opinions in the chat all night, so make sure that you follow along with us and let us know what you think in the chat. But, Mike, let's talk about some guys that were big-time winners, and we'll talk about some losers from the night. This is the first of 3 preseason games, and then they're going to have to make those cuts, right? And we've been talking about 53-man roster and how it's going to shape up on the back end of a lot of different positions. Well, I think the night was very telling on a couple of those. But the first thing that I would like to bring up is basically to add on to what you already said. Jason Brownlee and Tyquan Thornton, they're making it hella hard for Sky Moore and Nico Remigio to make this freaking roster. I will say Nico had a nice return, but and maybe a catch or so. But those two guys, and they were out there with the ones, and they were looking good. Mahomes went right at him.
Yeah, I think Nico sealed his deal tonight. He's on this 53-man. The Chiefs are going to take 7 now. They must take 7. And I'm telling you, Tyquan Thornton is probably 6, and it's going to be him and Brownlee. And I'm telling you, good Lord, they may take 8 because you may have to.
Remigio be 6?
Maybe they have to start somebody on the IR or something. Yeah, Remigio would be 6, and then Royals would be 5, and then you might get
I don't know, man.
I think it's Thornton. Dude, it's a lot.
Very up in the air.
But, dude, what we've seen from Brownlee tonight was good, strong hands. He can high point. I said he could do this back when we got him in the offseason. He did this for the Jets. He made that team as a UDFA. The kid's good. He's pretty good. I think his skill set is very good in our offense. Nico had himself a game. He had a nice punt return. He had a nice or a kickoff return, whatever it was. I don't remember. It's been a long day. But either way, he had a really good one. It was like 40-some yards or something. Looked really good. He got a nice catch, sliding catch on the sideline. I thought he looked good. Tyquan Thornton, he looked pretty decent too. Nobody really got to play with Mahomes very much, so you really didn't get to see a lot.
Right.
Whoever got to play with Bailey Zappi just got completely ripped off. That cat, Bailey Zappi. Look, for all the Chiefs beat writers coming out all camp long and telling us that he's looked amazing and he's outbeat Gardner Minshew on every snap.
I called bullshit on that on the last live
You
stream.
did call bullshit, and you were right. Look, what are the beat writers doing? Is Matt Derrick asleep? Like, what are these guys doing? Like, Bailey Zappi looked horrible tonight.
I love those guys. I love all the beat writers and everything. They do a great job, but they're so bad at just pointing things out. Sometimes it's unreal. You have to watch with your own eyes, and you definitely can't take what they say as the word of God.
If you
definitely
can't
gotta take it with a grain of salt.
See that with the Bailey Zappi sighting we saw tonight. I don't know. That kid, look, he's not on Gardner Minshew's level. I think I see a lot of concerning things with Zappi. There's no way they're taking 3 QBs. He would have to 180 this thing like some of the best football you ever seen for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, so the wide receiver room is going to be pretty crazy. I actually saw some good things out of a couple of guys. You mentioned most of them, but I thought Elijah Badger looked good on his 2 receptions. I think
Yeah.
he offers you a lot. And then also, I think that I saw Magdalena run a couple good routes as well. He didn't get to complete some of it, but the throws were questionable. But I think a lot of these guys are looking good. Those guys, they're on the outside.
Zappy missed
looking in.
Delena on a touchdown.
Yeah.
Delena had that
exactly.
touchdown. He had his guy beat, and Zappy just missed him.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that there's a lot of good stuff going on with the wide receiver room. I think the main thing is that it remains the same. What the hell is going to happen with the 6th and 7th wide receiver if they decide to go 7? Tyquan Thornton has a huge stake in this thing. And then you just saw Jason Brownlee kind of come in and kick the wall open like the Kool-Aid man and say, what
Yeah.
about me? So we've been seeing good things out of him at camp too. So we've kind of been keeping up with Brownlee, but I think he showed it to everybody tonight just in one catch, just what he can do, right? And then
Yeah.
he had a solid night, after that. But let's move on from the wide receivers. But I want to see what everybody has to say in the chat. You guys put in there who you think is going to be the 6th and 7th if they take a 7th wide receiver, judging by what you've had to go by camp so far in this first preseason game. Now, things could change.
Steve, you didn't mention Scott Moore.
Of course I didn't. What is there to mention? He had a good return.
I seen him miss a block early in the.
I knew
with the
that was
ones.
going to come up. I don't know if that was necessarily a missed block. I think he tried to make a block that
Yeah,
he
it's
wasn't
possible
designed to make.
But it just didn't look pretty. And
It
Scott Moore's
didn't?
he's got to be a world beater to make this roster at this point, and he's just can't
Yeah,
do
dude.
it.
Not looking good for old Sky. But yeah, I think that play was actually a hustle play by him more than a missed block.
Andy will be like, Sky, great hustle. You're on the 53. Take a seat.
I'm going to get to these real quick. We got our boy Duggan here, been a member for 23 months.
Let's go.
It says, I've been here for a while. Great show. And did we get enough pressure on the D-line, in your opinion? So that's a great question, and we'll talk about that a lot more in a little while. But just right off the rip, I did like what I saw from the defensive line. I thought I saw some good things, and we can dive further into that. But, Mike, did you think that they looked pretty good there at first?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I think there's always room for improvement. And of course, this is the first preseason game. I thought Omar Norman he looks bigger than a lot of people thought he was going to do. Like, he looks like he beefed it up a little bit. He had a few hustle plays. You seen Janarius Robinson, man. He's been battling for like defensive end 7. The kid had a sack tonight. So you've seen some good things. They started Tillery right off the bat. Tillery was playing a lot. Mike Pinnell was playing a lot out there. I don't think Chris Jones played any tonight. I think they pretty much just sit him, right? I didn't see him out there.
Right. Yep. Tony with the 2 bombs says Thornton and Brownlee on the 53-man roster.
It's a good possibility, buddy.
I mean, obviously, if you just take what you saw from tonight and you kind of gather what you have from camp so far, that sounds great, right? I mean, it really is leaning that way. But when you really look at the back end of it, I'm with you, Mike. I don't see them not putting Nico Remigio on this team, especially still being able to return the ball the way that he is, and as much as Dave Tobe likes him.
Yeah.
It's just
That
gonna
big
be
return
tough.
tonight just kind of felt like a lock. And then when he went out there and contributed that nice little catch on the sideline and stayed in, Nico has proved that if you give him chances in the offense, he can execute.
Right. Appreciate the 2, Tony. And then we got another 2 from KT. Says, rather have Brownlee than Nico. He's replaceable. I think that, once again, this is going to be a conversation amongst Chiefs Kingdom for the next few weeks. It's like, is Nico really that guy that needs to be on the roster? And I think that he has showed that he should be. He did great last year in the return game. He did great so far through camp and in his first preseason game. And he can also contribute in the pass game. We just haven't got to see that much. So it was nice to actually get to see him out there doing that tonight. So it's just going to be a hot topic, KT. Like, that whole wide receiver room is going to be crazy. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. And as it develops and as we progress throughout the preseason, we'll kind of keep an eye on who's going to make this roster and who's not. But you never really know with Andy.
Right.
You never
Steve,
really know.
anybody else on offense impress you tonight?
Absolutely. I thought that there were quite a few winners. Obviously, these wide receivers that we talked about.
Give me
I
one of your
think-
winners.
Real quick before we move on to a different position, because the guy I'm about to mention is not a wide receiver, but I thought Jalen Royals looked decent in the chances that he had tonight.
Yeah.
They did kind of set him up on a screen where he got blown away by Bill Melton, but other than that, I thought he looked pretty good. And he also had a return for like 26, 27 yards, something like that.
Yeah.
So I thought he had a good night. So overall, receivers had a really good night. Up, from the top to bottom, I thought they worked out really well. I think the next big winner from tonight is a tight end, and that's Robert Tonyan.
Oh, you took mine. Big Bob in the house.
Yeah,
Big Bob, baby. Big Bob looked good. I think Big Bob locked that roster up tonight. A lot of people's thinking they're going to take him over Wiley, but I feel like it's 4.
I do too, and I feel like the big giant loser from the night is Jake Brenningstool. Not being able to be on the field and then having Tonyan show out like that. That sucks, bro.
Exactly, because a lot of people love Brenningstool and what he can bring, and I know that Andy recruited him here and this and that, but look, he's been injured the entire camp. You can't get on the field with injury. They may have to start him on IR. I think he can probably sneak through practice squad. Again, a lot of people get too hyped up on our players and think they're going to get poached off the practice squad. Always not necessarily true. We've seen a lot of people escape through practice squad. Justin Ross escaped through practice squad. We've seen, I think Zamet was the only one that got poached out of the blue, and that was a PR stunt from the Jaguars. So there really wasn't anything there that led me to believe that Tonyan does not look good enough to be on this team.
I have actually a bigger loser than Brenningstool, and we'll get to that. But let's stay on the offensive side of the ball for right now. We'll stick with the offense. Let's talk about the offensive line for a minute. I thought Josh Simmons looked the part.
He looked great.
I thought he looked the part. There were even plays where he was taking hands to the face and standing up like a champ.
Right. He played like 11 or 12 snaps, and I mean, he looked like a wall, baby. It looked exactly what you wanted.
And shout out Kingsley Suamataia. He looked pretty damn good at guard for his first game at guard.
A few snaps. Now, a few snaps he got blown up. I will say there was 1 or 2 I watched him just get hammered.
Yeah, well,
but it's his first game at left guard. I got to give him a little bit.
I think he's going to be good. He's going to be good there. I think he'll be fine. So I think the offensive line overall was good. If you go to the back end of it, I think we saw some good. I thought Joe Lombard did a great job at center towards the end of the game.
J-Lo looked good.
And he was all like, dude, he just reminded me almost like Creed Humphrey on the run plays and everything. He'd be way up the field making blocks. And
I thought Norzad looked decent. I thought Norzad looked pretty decent. Esapo looked pretty good.
Hansen wasn't bad when he was out there. I thought overall, I think everybody looked pretty decent on the offense. There was no one on the offense that really stuck out to me as having a terrible day.
Well, I did say as a group, and of course this was the third string at this point. As a group, they were getting handled there for a little bit in the third quarter. The defensive line for the Cardinals just run right through them there for a few snaps in a row.
I agree with that. I did see that.
Yeah, and I don't know who it is individually. Like it seemed like it could be a little bit of everything.
I saw one get blown up quite a bit, and that was by like the third stringers. So it's it goes to show you where he's at on the food chain list.
Yeah, can't wait to dig into the film again and see what was causing that. But yeah, we had a little bit of a struggle bus there with it, and it could be quarterback related too. It could have been Zappy doing something weird. Right.
This is all just off initial watch, so we will definitely dig into the tape a little bit more. And just to wrap up the offense, put a bow on that. Let's talk about the running backs for a minute. Yeah. Obviously, Pacheco came out with a huge run right off the rip, about 9 yards, I think. And then, of course, you saw Kareem Hunt kind of get the bulk of the carries in the next few drives. I think overall, though, did you see a whole lot out of Elijah Mitchell?
I've seen enough out of Elijah Mitchell, in my opinion, that I think he's on the radar now. In my opinion, when I watched him run a few times, and you got to remember he wasn't playing behind the first team offensive line.
Right, he only had 2 carries for 5 yards, but I think what kind of stuck out to me was his reception.
Yeah, his reception. He reminded me of an Andy Reid style back. Like he looked the part. And so then again, you ask the question here, is Brashard Smith going to be able to do it? I absolutely think Brashard Smith is going to make this team. There's no way he's not.
Brashard Smith was running some good routes.
And this makes me a little nervous for Carson Steele, but Carson Steele looked pretty good tonight.
Carson still looked good, dude. It's very crazy how this offense is shaping up. Brett Veach, Andy Reid, all of them cats, they have their job cut out for them because – I mean, they're literally going to have to make some tough cuts this season. Just end of story.
Yeah, and when you've got literally 8 wide receivers that can make this team, and now you're looking at 4 to 5 running backs that could get on this, and you're needing 4 tight ends, it's going to get really, really chippy as who they have to cut here.
It's going to get crazy, dude. But yeah, guys, appreciate y'all being here. Stick around with us through the preseason, the full season. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It's going to be a fun one, dude. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Shout out Lil Cam. Been a member for 3 months now. Says Mahomes, 1 pass, 1 yard, 1 touchdown. He's clearly number 1. Absolutely.
Hey, that's efficiency. That's all that is.
At its greatest, right? It was great to see that take place, honestly. It was just kind of funny that they fumbled the first kickoff, and then it was just like boom, 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 touchdown. Like
Yeah.
you knew it was coming. You could almost feel it, right? But it was cool for Mahomes to get a couple snaps in,
Right.
and get off the field.
So let's put a bow on the offense just really quickly. Who's your top 3 winners for the offense, and who was your big loser on the offense tonight before we go to the defense? I think Big Bob Tonyan has got to be a big-time winner. I think
100%.
Brownlee's a big winner tonight. Who would you give
Yes.
number 3 to?
Man, honestly, this one's kind of tough. I don't know. There's not one that just sticks out to me. I would say that Carson Steele has a claim for that spot because he looks really freaking good.
Right.
When he got his chances.
I
And
would be a little-
He's been a guy that's been on the back end that a lot of people are like, well, he's going to get cut.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm going to give it to Simmons at left tackle.
Yeah.
He didn't. He's not going to have the highlight. You're not going to be on ESPN, but that kid, he did what he needed to do. And I think we may have found something there. I think he could be legit here. And for me, that's important enough to say that I think that he was a big winner tonight. And for the big loser on the offense, I think it's just by the fact that Big Bob showed up. Brenningstool is kind of a loser here because nothing he could do. But it's like we can't take 5 tight ends. And a lot of people are saying, well, Wiley needs to go. He don't look right. I don't think they're cutting Wiley after 2 years or 1 season, matter in fact.
Well, I think if you wanted to lump them into losers, even though they did not have bad games and they all actually played pretty decent, I think you could go the very bottom part of that wide receiver room because I think guys like Jimmy Holiday, Hal Presley, Keyshawn Smith, Mac Delina.
Right. Well, you knew they weren't going to do much.
That's the thing. Like, they were okay. They were good when they played, but the other guys kind of showed there's a separation.
It is wild that the Chiefs are in a position now where we've got 7 or 8 wide receivers that are good.
Dude, we're not
amazing.
used to this.
Yeah,
we're not
dude.
used to this.
Let's jump over to the defense a little bit.
Let's do it. You guys hit that like button for us if you haven't already. Let us know what you guys think about the offense. Who was the winners? Who was the losers? We want to see your all stuff in the chat. And, yeah, let's move it on over to the defense. I think we have to start the defense off by just saying that freaking sucks for Deion Bush. Deion Bush was a guy that was going to be fighting for this roster again, and now it's just a wrap for him. I think it's an Achilles injury is what they ended up saying.
Yeah, they said it was an Achilles. He's probably going to be done for the season.
Right.
The extent of it's not known, but it looked bad. Look, I didn't think Deion Bush was going to make this team. Like
I thought he could.
He's fighting for it. But tonight, there was a big loser in the safety room, and that was, to me, Mike Edwards. That kid got burned like toast tonight on 3 or 4 different plays.
He may not make the team, that, brother.
Well, he may not even make the freaking team after what I've seen tonight because Christian Roland Wallace, he may have sealed his deal tonight. He looked really good, and he can play a little bit of safety.
Right.
And
yeah,
so
Mike Edwards ain't going nowhere, brother.
Look, he's
a ball hawk type that's going to get burned like that. You know what you got with him. They knew that before they brought him back.
Maybe so,
You know?
but you can't be that big of a liability, and especially in the preseason playing against 2s and 3s.
Right. Well, I don't. Was he really that big of a liability though? We already seen him for an entire
From what I've
season.
seen, it looked pretty bad. I'll have to go back and rewatch again, but I've seen some
already-
plays where he was big time out of position, and it really
we already
bothered
seen
me.
him for an entire season, brother. We know what he can do. So I just guys like that, I'm not worried about not making the roster. That's not the guys I'm looking at.
No, but
not
guys
making
like that need to be able to dominate when they're on the field during the preseason, playing against lesser talent.
Sure. I guess,
Why do you say
but-
sure? It better be. Well, who's another winner? Because I thought Noah Williams looked really good tonight, and I thought Jeffrey
Williams-
Bossa was great.
Noah Williams is legit, right? He definitely is legit. I think that, let's see. I'll probably go with Christian Roland Wallace as well. I
Yeah,
think
he looked
that
good.
He played great. And if we stick with the corners, I think that Josh Williams was actually a winner from the night because the biggest loser on this entire team for the night, by far and away, and we've been preaching it for a year and a half, it's Najee Johnson. He's just not a good corner. He's not a good corner.
I feel bad for the kid. I want him to be good, but he just isn't there.
No.
He's not there. This experiment has to come to an end. I don't care how good you are on special teams. We've got guys. You just see Noah Williams tonight make a hell of a play on special teams. He sent the dude to the underworld. That's what I wrote in the short recap we're going to do. I said he put him in the underworld. Dude, I just don't think you can keep Najee at this point. And Josh Williams looked a lot better tonight, and he's looked a lot better for years. But
Dude,
yet
Josh
he's in the
Williams was
doghouse.
comparable to Jalen Watson last season. People touted how great Jalen Watson was, but they don't want to talk about Josh Williams. On the other hand, we all know that Najee struggled all year last year,
Yeah.
and he's continuing it. It looks just as bad now.
Yeah, and again, these were third string guys that he was getting burnt by because he played a lot of snaps. Look, I think the corner room will be fine, but in my opinion, Najee for me, and look, I like Najee. He's a good kid. I've always liked Najee. He was going to come on our show when we first started. We're friends with his mother. His mother is on our X all the time talking. She gets a little defensive. Why wouldn't she? It's her baby boy. I get it. I'm not saying none of this out of hate. Love Najee Johnson, but the kid's not there. And with this team getting bigger and better and stronger and deeper at corner, he's got to show me more. And it's nothing against him, but he just doesn't look it right now. And the fact that he's getting run with the ones, still with Spags, what in the hell did Josh Williams do to Spags? Did he pee in his Cheerios?
Dude, I don't know, but he was definitely the biggest loser for sure. I'm also with you. I think that Jeffrey Bossa looked fantastic while he was out there.
I love Bossa.
He's low key.
He
such
is
a good
a
pick,
heat-seeking missile.
Right?
Didn't we
Love
say
it.
that? I said he brings physicality and he brings speed and he will hit you, and he
Right.
did it.
And
He
then,
hit
of
that dude
course,
so hard he broke his hip.
The defensive line, I think the rookies looked okay in their reps. Norman Lott, Angelo, I think they were both able to create a little bit of pressure, and they both play with a pretty good motor. Obviously, a lot of people were worried about Norman Lott not being able to take a lot of snaps, which we won't know yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, when they were out there on the field, I thought they were putting in good effort. Things are going to be good there. Overall, on the defense, I think Noah Williams was the big winner for me, not only because of his coverage and how good he is as a corner, but he also had that big return and showed that he had special teams value as well. And obviously, biggest loser, Najee Johnson. Do you have any qualms with that, or do you have another guy that you would like to talk about?
Najee was a pretty much the loser tonight. I thought the defensive line did okay. We seen flashes from Felix tonight. He showed some signs of life.
Right. Yeah.
So-
Felix will flash every once in a while.
Yeah, right.
It's
So
trying to get some consistency out of him, right?
I want to see him build some consistency, but he looked decent sometimes. I got to go back and rewatch again. But I thought everybody did enough to answer Doug's question from previously. I seen enough from the defensive line to think that we may be heading to a deeper, more disruptive defensive line with Omar Norman Lott. Pops asked about Izzard.
He tried to trip us up here. He tried to trip us up. Isaiah Cozard, real funny old man. Keziah Izzard, is he all hype? Man, honestly, I don't know. I didn't get to see, like, towards the end of the game, it got a little hectic, and I didn't get to watch really close.
Yeah.
So I missed some of his snaps, but I can't wait to go back and watch it because I think he actually is good. I just don't know how it's going to translate.
I think he's good. I don't know if you could even say there's much hype around him. I mean, he was a UDFA that didn't get picked. So, I mean, I don't know how much or how big his thing is, but he did sign a big contract. He signed a pretty nice contract with us, and I don't know. Cam Jones got injured tonight, too. We didn't mention that, right?
You're right. What did that end up being? It looked like, to me, he was holding his collarbone.
It looked like it was going to be a collarbone or something like that again. I don't know what the extent of it is, but look, I thought he struggled a little, not him, but in the linebacker room, I thought that Jack Cochran struggled a little bit tonight, what I seen early. And with Jeffrey Bossa looked like the best linebacker on our team tonight.
Right,
And that
yeah,
includes
he looked great.
Tranquil and Bolton. It was insane.
Duncan says Cam Jones actually went back into the game. So maybe it was just a little stinger. or
Okay.
something. Who knows?
He needs to play. He needs that for real.
Yeah, for sure. Perry with the 2 bombs says Marlon looked good. Yeah, I mean, I think everyone on the defensive line did pretty decent tonight, honestly. There was nobody I thought looked bad. So if I had to go back and watch any part of the game closer and actually be able to focus, I would like to watch the trenches a little bit more. Because when you watch the initial watch of a game, you kind of follow the ball. You're watching the skills guys and stuff like that. Now I'd like to go back and dig into the trenches and check out the guys, right?
Right. Look, if there was one thing that kind of concerned me on defense, I thought tackling looked pretty shoddy. Jaden Hicks couldn't tackle anybody out there tonight. He looked like he was on skates. He did have that nice pick, but I mean, literally, Kyler Murray looked like he spun 17 times and flipped him the ball underhanded. That's how easy it was. I could have got that pick. So, I mean, not to take nothing away from him, but it was a pretty straightforward kind of play. But Jaden Hicks definitely, he's going to have some learning curves this year, in my opinion. I hope Chiefs Kingdom sticks with it because I think he can get through it and he is going to be special. But he showed tonight that he is going to have some things, and I think tackling could be one of those things in space. But we dealt with that with L'Jarius Sneed for years, and people love Sneed. So we've got to deal with stuff like that. He's got to get better. I thought like there was a play where the Cardinals took a little screen pass or something with their running back, and that kid he put everybody on skates. And I mean, there was times where the defense just didn't look great tackling. But again, this is the first tackle football they're just about playing this season. So you got to give it a little bit of a break there.
Yeah, I think overall, though, I think it was a successful first preseason game. You hate to see injuries to anybody. It sucks with Deion Bush, but I think overall, minus Deion Bush, we kind of came out unscathed. A lot of the younger guys played well. I think a lot of the guys on the back end that are on the bubble right now played well. And it's only breeding stiffer competition going forward, right? Once again, I think they have to look at something with the corners. I think they have to really reconsider Najee Johnson being a 1 or even a 2. That's something that they've really got to take a strong look at that.
Speaking of corners, Jalen Watson's in concussion protocol.
Yeah, I meant to mention
he
that
left
earlier.
the field with a concussion.
Man, I hate it for him too, but it's like he's a target for injuries.
Right, but we don't know if he got the concussion or not. He just had to enter the protocol. But he did not come back out. But I thought he was playing too much anyway. To me, McDuffie and Watson, those are your starters right now with Christian Fulton not playing, right? Like, there's no doubt about that. That's your top 2 without Fulton. And even with Fulton, I don't know if I like Fulton more than Watson. I'm not for sure yet.
Yeah.
And
do you think we might see Fulton out there next game?
Yeah, we got to start seeing him a little bit. I really do believe that, but I knew this time it wasn't going to be because he just got in pads the other day. So, But for right now, in my opinion, Fulton, I'm going to give him CB3-ish because I'm not for sure just yet. But I think like tonight, Noah Williams proved he had a nice little PBU in the end zone. Noah Williams needs to start taking second team snaps. He's right there at CB4. I put Josh Williams at CB5, and Nazee's all the way down to CB6 or 7 for me right now.
Oh, easily. I think I don't know how long he can ride off of his special teams talent. That's pretty much it. We'll have to see. We got a 2-bomb from Tony. Said 140 yards rushing for the Cardinals. This is not good. Yeah, I think that attributes to what Mike was talking about. I think the tackling overall was probably the poor point, right? Like that's kind of the first thing that stuck out is the tackling was kind of crappy. So
yeah,
maybe that could just be first game out there type stuff. We'll have to see how that goes. But also, you have to consider later in the game, even just in the second quarter, even till the end of the game, you're looking at a lot of guys on the back end of the roster and stuff like that. So
yeah, and you've also got to think about this. Between the 3 quarterbacks, I think Murray, Brissett, and Clayton Tune ran for a total of like 29 or 30 yards by themselves. So you got to take that off of it, which now puts it down to like 110-ish. And if I'm not mistaken, Bam Knight had a 27 or 30-yard run. So, I mean, a lot of that come on one run in the quarterback. So if you take all that off, they're probably right at that 100-yard or less. And honestly, they ran the ball 35 times tonight. And the other way, the Chiefs only ran the ball 21. And like I said, I think 5 or 6 of those were from QBs. From Oladokin and Minshew and Zappi. So,
and I think
I'm not too worried about it just yet.
It would be a disservice to talk about the defense and not bring up Jaden Hicks. Jaden Hicks had a great game, and I think he's going to continue to be that guy. So I think everybody, the hype around that kid is legit. So I can't wait to see what he does this year. Also, shout out Roland Wallace with the interception. Yeah, man. I think overall, Brandon George. Actually, I wanted to bring up Brandon George.
Yeah,
I was kind of impressed with how he looked, and let me be clear. I think he only had like a tackle and 2 assists, but there were times where he come flying through the line a few times. He disrupted plays.
Yeah.
Just super athletic. So, I mean,
that's him, isn't it?
I would not count out Brandon George yet, guys. Keep an eye on him.
Dude, the other one's Cooper McDonald. He had 4 total tackles, 2 solos tonight. So you've got a guy from TCU that was undrafted, a guy from Pittsburgh that was undrafted. Both of those kids are pushing Cam Jones and Jack Cochran. And again, Cochran had five total tackles with 2 solo. But early in the game, he got put on skates a few times. He missed a few tackles in the hole there a few times on some of those runs. So if this is the time the Chiefs want to make their linebacker room a little bit more athletic, maybe a little bit more coverage focused, I honestly think Cooper McDonald and Brandon George and Jeffrey Bossa have that speed and that athleticism that they may be a little bit better in coverage than what we've seen over the past few years. And although PFF keeps saying, that Leo's one of the top coverage guys and Nick Bolton's, a top 10 coverage guy, we watch it week in and week out. The middle of the field is soft as Charmin, and it's every time on third down and fourth down, they will convert it anytime they need it. We've seen it over and over again.
For sure.
So you can put up all the stats in the world you want, but we all watch it with our own eyes. And I'm telling you, the linebackers play soft in coverage, and they get burned a lot. So I would like to see guys like maybe Cooper McDonald, Brandon George, some of these coverage guys. If you're better in coverage than Cochran and Jones, maybe it's time for those guys to let's start moving this room around a little bit and getting some younger, quicker, faster talent in there.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you guys being here tonight. We're going to be here for a few more minutes, so if you have any questions, make sure to get them in the chat. Appreciate everybody. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, all that fun stuff. I think in general, it was great to see the guys back out on the field. It was cool to get your eye on a couple of those guys you wanted to see, even if it wasn't in, it was small doses, right? But you still got to pick out a little bit from Tyquan Thornton and just how some of these guys can fit into the roster. But I think this is also one of those things where everybody does have to remember it's preseason. It's the first preseason game. So, kind of being way too serious about the game is kind of silly. But I think you pick – what you do is you look at these guys at the bottom half of the roster and you kind of take away what they can do and how they can possibly get onto the roster. And you also have to remember that Andy Reid – is notorious for almost having his mind made up before they ever hit the field in preseason. So it takes a lot for a guy to come in and actually get a spot. You could see someone show out like Khalif Hallisey last season, just insane the entire camp and preseason, and not make the roster. So you can't dig too far into it. And yeah, of course, absolutely should not give a rat's ass about the score whatsoever. So hopefully we don't see too many people talking about losing a game.
Steve,
it always blows my mind.
I'm going to put up a nice little short. I'm going to try to release it tonight, maybe into tomorrow. You'll see a little Cardinals Chiefs short. You're going to have Cardinals fans come on here and brag about this win. You know it's happening.
Of course.
Let them have it. They don't have nothing else. I'm not even going to argue with them.
I don't know. I just find it funny. I find it just the whole thing cracks me up. I know people are excited that football's back. I get that.
Yeah.
I'm excited football's back. It's amazing just to even see it on TV and everything. But the fact that there's actually people out there play-by-play calling it and getting into it and acting like it's a big, huge thing, it's almost laughable. It's what are we doing here, guys? It's preseason. Everybody chill. Let's evaluate this as a practice like it is. It's a freaking practice.
It's a glorified practice.
Yeah.
Steve, did you can we talk about something that was just a mechanic in the game? Did you like the new ball spot thing? Was that something you were into or no?
Honestly, I only saw it. I was only paying attention a couple times.
I think they've done it a few times, but the guys on TV were trying to sell it because we had to listen to the Cardinals broadcast, right? Or at least I did.
Here's my thing. If it's legit and it actually is accurate, then I'm all for it.
Well, they were like, look how fast this is. You don't have all these out of shape lines, people with the chains running around and taking 20 minutes to get out there and blah, blah, blah. They were trying to sell it hard. And then it comes in, it's like, he was 9 inches short. And I'm thinking, okay, look, I'm all for technology, but let me tell you something. If y'all want to talk about swaying games, technology is a great way to do it. Okay, so I wouldn't trust that, especially if it gets down to he's a half a millimeter short according to technology. That's a little fishy. You better watch that one.
Right, but I think the way that they're planning on utilizing it is they still have the chain gang, right? They still check it.
Yeah, but I don't think they used it tonight. They're trying to do it without the chain gang. That's officially what they're wanting to go to, I believe.
Just get rid of that altogether?
They're wanting to get rid of it, and it's kind of weird. But look, it's the refs preseason too, I think. You gotta let them get accustomed to it.
My thing is it kind of goes both ways, right? If they're going to do anything shady or something's going to be wrong, you can do it both ways. So it's kind of whatever.
Well, I feel like physically, you bring out a chain. Okay, now I do know there was the incident where they put the little index card in there, or there was one where he's like a foot short and they're telling him it's whatever.
It's still human error, right? It's people eyeballing where that ball went down, where this and that is. I'm all for the technology. I'm a baseball fan, and the electronic strike zone, I think, is something that needs to be utilized. Too many times you see people just perfect. You could not place a ball any better than some of these pitchers, and they're not even calling it a strike. It's unreal. So I think you get the technology. If it's legit and if it's accurate, use it. Don't
Right.
just use it. You know, if you're gonna have it, use it.
Yep. Sam with the 10 bomb. He said Khalif Halsey is with the Vikings now, and he played safety, had 2 picks today.
Well, imagine that.
Yeah. I don't know 2 guys who loved Khalif Halsey so much
Good
and
Lord.
thought
Dude,
he was going to make this team.
That's the thing about it. Like, as much as I love Andy Reid, the coaches, Brett Veach, the crew, they're amazing. There's no one better. But good God, if that wasn't the most obvious crap
I
you've
think
ever
that's a
seen in your
whiff.
life, isn't it? I mean,
You're telling me that
dude.
you're telling me Najee Johnson's better than Khalif Halsey.
Exactly. It blows my mind.
Yeah, it's wild.
Just like it's hard for me. Like as great as those guys are, it blows my mind that they
Right.
miss something that clear. But
Yeah. Oh, I also
It
seen
happens.
Sam ask in the chat earlier, and I didn't get a chance to say it. But Sam asked how I watched the game tonight since I was in Florida. I had to get
NFL.
the NFL app on my phone, and I paid the extra. I think you could have watched it for $6. You get the whole
I paid
preseason.
$7. I paid $6.99.
I played 14 because I want the replay and the
Yeah.
all 22. So I'm going to do that for just a
Might
month.
need your name and password for that one, there, buddy.
And we don't condone that. No, I'm joking. NFL should just sponsor us. You know how much good we do for the NFL, and they take our money.
It's crazy.
It's
They
insane.
don't allow us to show their footage or nothing.
You know, because I'm a firm believer that if we wasn't even on here talking about YouTube, nobody would even watch the NFL. Like, we probably bring everybody.
Oh yes, that's it.
Like, they need us. I mean, come on.
All right, guys. We appreciate you guys being here. We're going to head on out for the night. We appreciate everybody. Hit the like button on the way out, all that good stuff. A lot of content coming your way. Podcasts will be getting dropped on Tuesday. You'll have video Wednesday, live stream Thursday. The usual. So hang in there, guys. Hope everybody had a good first preseason game. It was nice to see the Chiefs back on
Yeah,
TV.
man.
It's football season, baby, officially. I think we
Enjoy
can go
it.
ahead and call it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, rookies were fantastic tonight. Some of the other guys that we thought were on the bubble were fantastic tonight. And then there's a couple guys that really need to start looking at their ass because it's about to be on fire soon. I just think there's a Najee Johnson, brother. We got to figure it out.
Figure it out.
We'll
I don't
figure
know
it
what's
out.
going to be tougher, trying to figure out the Najee Johnson thing or trying to figure out who's going to be the 2 wide receivers that make this team at 6 and 7.
That's a tough one. That's
Those
a
are
tough
tough choices.
Yeah, so we'll continue to watch camp and preseason unfold, and we'll figure it out. They do all the cuts at one time now, so it's just kind of like boom, and there it
Yeah.
is. So not much longer though. What do you got? Like 3 weeks before all the cuts are made.
I want to say like 17, 18 days tops.
Yeah, so it's coming sooner than later. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
Wow.